Hey, I am Alice Grist, and this is our card for the week ahead. So today is the 25th of April. However, whenever you come at this card is the appropriate time to take its energy and to receive its message. And the card I have pulled for us today is the Two of Pentacles from my Cosmic Mother Tarot deck, painted by myself and my daughter back when she was just a wee 4-year old. This card asks us to recognize that mastery, the path forward, the life path that we are attempting to carve, create, and live from, is very much born out of a willingness to make mistakes, a willingness to hold those mistakes and get really deeply creative with them. To apply paint, metaphorically, literally, whatever, to the circumstances of our lives. If you look at this fella, and I always say, look at the card yourself, don't just rely on me. What does your intuition tell you? What's going on here? This is what I say to my 6-year-old, actually. What is happening on this card? And create your own story, and then think about how that reflects on where you are at right now. So he is creating a masterpiece, perhaps, or some might call it a mess. Who cares? If he thinks it's a masterpiece, it's a masterpiece. What masterpiece are you creating with your life right now? So you don't have to be an artist. This is not literal, but what are you creating through your work, through your family, through your relationships, the way you communicate, the way you express yourself to the world? And how can you do better? Because the thing about mastery, and particularly about this card, is he has messed up. He's got paint all over his trousers, and he is learning. He's willing to be a student of life over and over and over again. And that's the only way you get to mastery. You don't just get to this high point in your career, in your work, in your relationship, in your marriage, in your friendships, in your parenting. You don't just get there and sit there. You slide back down. You have to be willing to do the work to kind of move in this loop we have here, this infinity symbol, and keep coming back around to yourself and forgiving yourself your mistakes, allowing yourself the expression to make mistakes, allowing yourself the creativity to do things that you're not that mad keen on, but you start again, or you apply more learnings, more paint, more depth to each and every turn of this evolutionary path towards something that you are determined to become eventually. And we never get there. We never get to this pinnacle. And if we did, we'd be bored out of our minds. So this card speaks to mastery, being beholden to being a student, to being willing to learn over and over and over. So how many different layers of colour can you apply to your life today? What can you do that feels really different and rebellious and bountiful and abundant just for the sake of it? And, kind of ignore those voices in your head that perhaps telling you, maybe not today, or maybe I'll do that a little bit later, or when I'm ready. How can you actually give yourself grace to move on to a path of exploration? Recognizing that each and every area you explore in your life is adding to that higher heights of you. So not some mastery, not some master-filled, kingly, queenly position that society or culture or parents or friends think you should be attaining, but a mastery of you within your body, within your understandings, with your fantasies and passions and hopes, fueling all of that. And how can you make this completely unique so that the colours splashed out across your life are yours and yours alone? And when you mess up and you create a bit of a muddied brown, be willing to hold it and accept it and say, this wasn't what I meant by this circumstance, but I'll do better next time and I'll apply myself differently and I will learn. And you can see how this metaphor spreads out across everything. So have a little think today. How can you this week sit with attaining mastery? Yes, but doing so by being willing to make the mistakes, by being willing to go back, to being willing to act like you know nothing and learning life from point zero and taking it onwards. What new things can you dip your paintbrush into? That's an interesting metaphor. What new colours can you apply to your existence? And, you know, if they don't fit, great, move on to the next. That's what this guy is doing. That is our message here. There's not just A and B about life. There's not just what your teachers told you and what your parents. There's not just what you think you should do and what your partner thinks you should do. There's like a gazillion other things that are asking for you to explore them in different levels and shades and ways. So let's make this week about exploration, exploring things we find fascinating and taking learning from all of it and recognizing that the learning never really ends. And if we are to master anything in life, if we are to master our own existence, if nothing else, then the experimental evolutionary call to keep going backwards into learning is so deeply important. So what can you learn this week? Let's have a little chat in the comments below. I'd love to hear how this card strikes you right now. Just so you know, you can purchase direct readings with me via Zoom at my website, alicegrist.co.uk. And all of May, I have tarot extravaganza where there are lessons and meditations and live sessions every single day for the entire month of May, where you can really learn to dive deep into tarot for your own reflection, for your own personal evolution, and for your growth as a human being, and using these beautiful cards as a way into all of this magic, psychic, intuitive understanding that belongs to you and every human on this planet. Perhaps that could be your exploration in the upcoming weeks. Bye.